Welcome to another episode. This will be the second installment or addition to my Gen X and Millennials episode. We're going to delve into another generation today. I want to put emphasis on that because one of my guests seems to believe that she's set apart from the other generations, which is all good, but we'll get into that. First and foremost, you guys know I always give a great shout out to my engineering and my optic team, Optic Audio. Justin and his crew always put together a great program. They are wonderful in all things optic and audio, podcasts, photography. If you want to do a bio, you just need something recorded. He's great. He is great at what he does, his craft. So please check him out. You can get the link on the website and on the bottom of this podcast once it's posted. So without further ado, again, I am Kane Magruder and this is Unkut. So today I have with me two young adults that are fairly close to me, I could say. Savannah is a little closer to me in relation-wise. I've known her for close to a year now. And Nico here has ventured into our lives as well. Great young man. Has got a great career, musical career ahead of him. And I'm sure, his mind is filled with all kinds of artistic endeavors as well. So what we're going to do today is I'm just really going to give them this platform to talk about their craft, talk about what it is that you guys do, what your endeavors are, what your dreams and aspirations may be, and a chance to let everybody hear your voice and know who you are a little more. So, Miss Savannah, I'm going to start with you first. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you, first and foremost?
I'm 19.
Big 19.
Big 19.
So, you're what'd you call it? A Gen Z?
Something like that.
Gen Z.
Something like
Is that what that is? No, honestly, I looked it up. You are absolutely correct.
Okay, so I was right?
You were.
So you guys are both wrong. Is that what I'm hearing?
Technically, no.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
But when you say millennial, you don't imagine our demographic, right? Or age?
It's a different just generation.
I guess.
So, I'm gonna explain this to you right quick. So, generations. Gen Z is 97 to 2012. Ages 12 to 27 will put you in the Gen Z category, so to speak. Millennials, 1981 to 1996, 28 to 43. Generation X, 65 to 80, 44 to 59. And, of course, baby boomers.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about them today. So, yeah, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell my listeners.
Okay, I'm in cosmetology school.
Okay.
I...
Locally?
Yeah, Hanover.
What's the name of the school you go to?
Empire Beauty School.
Empire Beauty School.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a good school?
Yep. Legally, yes. Legally is a great school, actually. I
That's
love
awesome.
it so much.
How long have you been in school?
Since September, so
Okay, come up on
I'm
a
not
year.
really good with math, so we're just gonna, it's been a minute.
9 months.
I'm gonna be there till January. 'Cause I
Great.
pushed my date
Good
back.
for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Have you learned a lot?
Yeah. I mean, I already knew stuff going into it, but I didn't realize how deep it actually went.
Sure.
It's a lot of math, too. Didn't expect that.
Hey, cosmetology school?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
You wouldn't expect it.
Well, I'm not taking cosmetology then. I hate math.
Yeah.
Okay, so cosmetology school. What else you got going on?
New apprenticeship? Question mark. That's a thing now.
What is that?
tattoo apprenticeship with
Tattoo apprenticeship.
this guy right here.
Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. You should have seen. I know I was like keeping my cool here, but as soon as I walked out the door, I called like 6 people, and I was like geeking as I was walking down the road. I was like, "Oh my god, you won't believe it! I got a tattoo apprenticeship."
I'm pretty excited as well. It's I've taught a few people some things, but you're my first real apprentice. So I'm kind of what they used to say back in the day, Jay, stoked. I'm stoked. Stoked.
Right.
I'm showing my age now.
I think they still say stoked.
I mean, sometimes.
Just
Okay.
probably means something different.
No.
You
So
know how
many
they
same
change
thing.
words and meanings and everything.
I think it's hype. I think that's the yeah.
I hope not.
It is.
I mean, it is,
Don't
but-
try to think you're better.
Hype.
All right. So, apprenticeship. How much artistic years or skill set? What do you bring to the table?
I mean, I've been interested in art ever since I was a kid. That was like my one thing that I liked, and the only thing I could really I guess excel at in school. Really, I was never a book smart kind of person,
Right.
if you want to say it. But no, art class was the one time during the day where I felt like I could really lock in and I knew what I was doing.
Do you think your art is an offspring? Like, does it help you express yourself? Does it help express emotion, or what inspires you with your art?
I never felt the emotion part or the emotion aspect of it as much. I think self-expression, yes. Because, I mean, as soon as I got to high school, I was like, you know what, maybe I don't want to pretend that I want to look like everyone else, and I want to do my own thing. And, I mean, I would go to the thrift store and then cut up a bunch of clothes, sew them together, and kind of draw on them and just do my own thing. And people were like, oh my god, that's sick, where'd you get that? I'm like, I made it. So, I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I heard you say clothes. So you a seamstress as well? You design clothes?
In a way, yeah.
Starting, trying to
Starting.
delve into that? Okay. You were talking to me the other day about some clothes or something to that
I
extent.
was,
Tell me a little bit
yes.
about that.
So it was actually for him. That's how it got started.
For Mr. Nico.
For Mr. Nico over
Mr.
there.
Nico.
Mr. Nico. I was kind of bored one day, and I had these white cargo pants or corduroy pants, whichever they were. That I didn't wear anymore. They're from the thrift store, and I was like, you know what? I got them with the intention of kind of, adding some cool little designs on them, making them different. And he talks a lot about custom pieces and clothes he's
Like one-offs. I got you.
he's very interested in fashion stuff. So I was like, oh, I can just make this for him because I was bored in my room. And I was like, nah, seems like a good idea. And I did it. And on the back of it, I just spray painted sold out because I thought it looked cool.
Okay.
And I gave it to him. He was like, oh my god, sick ass, those are cool. And I was like, thanks. And then I was like, you know what? That kind of sounds cool, sold out, put together. Sounds kind of sick. And then I made a pair of jean shorts, did the same thing. And I didn't really have a intention with making it that big of a...
Like a brand or anything?
Yeah, because I don't know how to do any of that.
I got you.
And then I started talking to him about it, and he's obviously in that field, he knows a lot
Sure.
about that kind of stuff. And he kind of painted this vision that I was like, wait, this could actually be really cool.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, ever since that conversation, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm down.
I think it's pretty cool. I used to tell a lot of my mentees when I ran the mentoring program that each individual has at least $1 million idea.
Mm.
They have to take the chance on it. There's so many times in life we all have ideas and aspirations to do this and do that, and you never seek it out. And it really could have been the catalyst that gets you over.
Right.
Really make a name for yourself or find your lane. So I mean, this could be your thing. I mean, you said you're an artist.
Yes.
So I believe that art isn't just music or painting or drawing or tattoo.
It's everything.
Art is just an expression.
Right.
So however you want to express yourself, express, how you feel like when you're on the stage or what have you, you're entertaining people. That's art, So, okay, so sold out.
Mhm.
What is there a meaning behind it, or is it just like is it sold out for, like, how some people say, and I'm not gonna go like churchy or anything, but people say I'm sold out for God, or I'm sold out for this music or what have you. You know what I mean? So like you're really delved into that. Is that what it stands for?
I mean, when I think of it, I do think more in the music industry, and obviously, I mean, if he's going to be working with me,
Sure.
I mean, you can get sort of philosophical with it. I think it means whatever you want it to mean. It can be, oh, it's two cool words put together with a cool font. I'm going to buy that hoodie. Or, I mean, it can be, in the future, I want this, and sold out. I did it. I made it to the top,
And I think it would be cool too, especially if it, once it takes off, with Nico, if he's wearing it, promoting it and pushing it, on tour, on stage and videos or what have you, it's kind of like, what's it like, unspoken thought, like
Manifestation.
we're
in a
sold
way.
out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at the epitome, I'm at my, the pinnacle.
Yeah.
We sold out. I can dig it. I can go for that. Well, I'm gonna come back to you in a minute. So, but I wanna dive into my other guest, Mr. Nico. So, Nico, I've mentioned your name. I already told everybody that you're a musician, but I'm gonna give you a chance to tell my listeners a little bit about yourself. So, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, first off, I'm 19 years old.
Okay.
I started making music when I was like 11 or 12.
Okay.
Started taking it seriously at 14.
Gotcha.
Dropped my first song on all platforms at 14.
So, what do you go by? Like, are you just called Nico?
I'm XOXO Nico.
XOXO Nico. So, what platforms can people find you on?
Any.
Everything.
Everything. Everything you can think of.
My man. I actually, you let me hear some of your music, even some of that unreleased at the time. It's pretty hot.
Thank you.
Seriously. Like, and I ain't saying that just because you're here. Like, seriously, it was pretty hot. I told you that day. Like, I definitely am feeling, your vibe, bro. You make good music.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So go ahead, continue.
Well, I think a cool thing in Milestone was, well, back when I was a kid, when I wanted to make music, I didn't have none of the microphones. I didn't know how to work, like, any platforms, any of that stuff. And my friends used to, like, freestyle and stuff, and they used to, like, like, put on a beat or something, and they used to be like, oh, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's rap. And I was like, I don't know how to do any of that. And they were like, you never tried? And I was like, no. I did it one day with my friends, and I remember writing my first song, and I remember the beat. I had the beat saved on my phone still.
Right.
I had the lyrics saved on I have everything from that first time I ever wrote down a lyric saved on my phone.
Okay.
And my friends were all like, why is this kind of cool? Like, you did a really good job. Why don't you, like, do this more? So from that day on, I never stopped writing, never stopped freestyling. Like, I would be in the shower, no beat on, but I would hear the tempo of the drops on the
rain.
Yeah, the rain.
Shower.
Yeah,
Right.
the shower. And I would hear the drops of the shower and hear the tempo of it. It would be like clack, 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 and I would start freestyling with that tempo. And that's how I knew. I was like, wait, this is kind of cool. That I can do this.
That's pretty dope, bro. I'm always intrigued, like, talking to artists. I got a lot of friends, well, not a lot. I probably got a handful of friends that are in the industry, and a few of them are signed to some labels. But it's always interesting to hear the story of why and how you got started.
Yeah.
So with you performing, like, what are some places like that have really stood out to you during your musical career?
So when I was 15 years old, I did this like Little John in the back of in the bar.
Okay.
I wasn't even allowed back there. I was like 15 years old.
Right.
The guy looked at me and he was like, I've heard you before. I know you have talent. He was like, come on in the back. There's just a bunch of grown men in there,
Right.
partying, and everybody's having a good time, and I'm just there. I'm just there. I'm sitting down. I'm watching everybody perform, and, everybody's doing the same thing. They're standing there with a mic in their hand. I thought to myself, bro, like, anybody can stand on a stage with a mic in their hand.
Right.
You need to have energy and get the people going.
Right. Engage.
So you got to tell people, you're like, sing this part. Like, I'm going to give y'all the lyric. I need you to sing it when it comes on. That's what I did that night. Little did I know that performance got me locked into the Baltimore soundstage at 15 years old.
Oh, shit.
I was the youngest person at the time to touch that stage.
Bro, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I'm sure from that date, like, that kind of catapulted, you know what I mean, your career and, getting your name out there.
Yeah, it was.
Have you worked with any, like, artists or, anybody that, like, really has maybe helped mentor you or has had an impact on your career?
I definitely have. One of my boys, shout out Dead Apollo, but he makes all my music. He engineers, he produces everything. He does everything for me, and I used to listen to his music a lot before I was like in big, like before studio. I was on my phone with BandLab.
Okay.
And I used to have earbuds, and that's what I used to do. I used to listen to him, and his stuff was so good. And I got told by my friend, he was like, this guy lives like maybe 20 minutes away from us. I shot him a DM. I was like, hey, man, like, I really like your music. Like, I'd love to collab. And, he was on board with it at first, but then he texted me one night. He was like, yeah, my feature price is like $150. And I was like, there goes my shot. And then we actually became close friends because when I did the soundstage, he texted me about it, asking me how I perform. And, like, he liked it.
Okay.
And then I booked a studio session with him. And from that day on, we just called every day, and we talked every day, and we talked about studio and music, and we put our minds together. So without him, I don't think I'd be making music right now.
Really?
Nope.
So, you kind of not owe, but, like you gave him a shout out, but he was vital.
Mm-hmm.
In the start and creation of XOXO Nico.
Yeah, it actually used to be Hellboy Nico. A while ago, that's what a lot of people knew me as.
Okay.
Because I used to release music, and when it started to get good, that's when people started to like listen.
I got you.
When people started to hear like the auto-tune and all that stuff was actually lined up with my voice and not just on earbuds. They were like, they were like, whoa, like this guy has potential. And I was like, at the time I didn't really think of anything of it, but now that I look back at it, it was a step in my career that I never really thought I'd take.
That's what's up, man. I want to tell all you guys out there, man, ladies as well, look this young man up. His music is phenomenal. He's the real deal. Music is very energetic. It grabs a hold of you. Like I said, I've listened to his music quite a few times. I have a few of his songs on a playlist for when I golf. So he is definitely official. So, all right. So now that I kind of got the ins and outs from you guys on what you do, we're going to delve into something different. First, I have to ask this, okay? Because the conversation on both sides has crossed into one another, okay? So you said, Savannah, oh, well, he wanted me to make this, and then, she's been in one of your videos, correct? Or something to that extent, or like...
She was an album cover.
Album cover.
Yeah, she was a song cover, not an album.
So that's like...
It's pretty cool.
Is there something between you guys? Are you guys a couple?
Yeah.
Like that.
so I actually have a couple here. This is that makes this all even the better, So let me ask you. I'm gonna come back to you, Savannah. What are your goals? What are your goals for your business? Where do you want to see? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I knew ever since I was a kid, I could never really see myself working more of a traditional kind of job, like sitting in office every single day doing the same kind of thing. It just didn't compute in my head. And I want to be able to do something every day that I enjoy and obviously has an artistic side to it.
Right.
And I mean, this would be really sick if I could do this for the rest of my life.
Do clothing or do
I mean,
tattooing?
both of
or-
them. Tattoo more, because that's really sick. But I mean, this on the side, that would be really awesome.
I got you. So there is something that I talked about in my last podcast, the last episode, and I talked about the Gen X and Millennials, about how there is this stereotype of the younger generation being very lackadaisical, lazy, or there's actually there was like this census done. And for millennials will have up to 30% more jobs than a Gen X generation. So say for instance, if I've had 6 or 7 jobs by the time I was 30, millennials will have had 15 to 21 jobs, because they say that they don't want to tie themselves down into one thing, or they don't want to get stuck in one area, or they get bored with this. And then I hear you on the other hand say, I never saw myself in like a traditional job or 9 to 5, necessarily working for, Big Brother, or, working for big corporations. What do you have to say to the people that say that these Gen Zs, now with you guys being the youngest generation, that you guys are lazy?
I think that a lot of it has to do with prioritizing your happiness, I mean, you talk to your parents and they're like, oh, well, I worked this many hours and I worked my ass off to get blah, blah, blah. But it's like, were you happy? Was it, sure, it was worth it, but I don't want to, you have such little time, and I think it's so stupid to waste it being unhappy and working for someone who's rude, or being in a toxic work environment when I don't want that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to die with, sure, you'll have money and you'll have whatever you want, but I could get that and still be happy in my everyday life.
Do you think that you need happiness in your work life?
Yeah, for sure. It's what a lot of our life at the end of it kind of goes to. There's probably a very large percentage spent working. So why would I want to waste it being unhappy and doing something, working in a little cubicle all day? That's boring.
I got you. And Nico, what do you say about that? What do you think that, I'm sure there's some people out there who were the naysayers, maybe, or who didn't believe in your craft or your skill or your art form, and said, you know what, you need to get a job while you're pursuing this music, or that's not going to pan out for you, man. You need a better goal. You need a better ideal of what your life needs to be.
You know what I did? I got a job, and I proved everybody wrong. They were like, go get a job, do this. I found a job that I like. I found a job that my manager even supports me. Like, sometimes he'll promote my music while we're working. I work at a car wash.
That's what's up.
People come through with crazy cars, and I connect myself in every community. Okay. So, working in music, I find people that are there. I connect my music through there. I'm still working on music, and I'm working on the side. I have 10-hour days, 12-hour days, I have doubles, or I have 8-hour days, or maybe 4-hour days. Right. But at the end of the day, no matter how many hours I work, I still go home and I make music, no matter how tired I am.
That's what's up.
Because if I didn't do something creative or productive, it's going to mess with my mind for the rest of the night.
It kind of makes you feel like you didn't accomplish something that day.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way, bro. So, it sounds like, you're building healthy relationships on different spectrums, no matter where you are. And I think that's the key to success in life. If you put yourself in one genre or in one category, you're left to live and deal with it on that level. So, You know, and you told me you just got a pretty unique car. So you're a car enthusiast.
Yeah, I love cars. I love them.
Oh, man, oh, man, I can dig it. All right, so what sets you guys apart? Now, this is a general question. I want both of you to answer it for me. What sets you apart from anybody else who's coming out with a clothing line, or what do you think sets apart your art?
I think having an actual vision behind it and not just looking at, oh, well, this is really trendy right now, so let me copy exactly what they're doing and take from this, this, and this, but rather seeing longevity of it.
Right. So now, with anybody who may say, well, you know, people create clothes and they have an idea for a design or a brand and it just fades off. What if you create this sold out and you do, you know, hoodies and hats and all these types of things, and it doesn't take off right away? How do you address that? Or how do you stay enthused or enthusiastic to keep pushing through?
Seeing it long term and really setting your mind to what you want and what, you know, you obviously start something, I mean, anything, and you're like, okay, well, I see this vision, and yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but you have to have kind of an upkeep with it and be able to maintain that drive
Daily.
because that's that. I don't know. It's hard to focus with that, but
That's a great answer. And what about you, Nico? How do you feel about that?
I feel I didn't really hear her, but
I got you. You need me to rephrase the question?
yeah.
So, if at the end of the day, like, say in a year's time, you're not getting the same amount of streams, or you're not getting the feedback for your music that you were, say, last year, how is it that you recreate yourself, or do you feel like you need to recreate yourself and it just might be something you're going through?
Push harder. You push harder. Your views go down, you push harder. Because guess what? At the end of the day, everybody has a down point. You know, there's rappers out there right now that were at the top of the game a couple years ago that went down. Kanye, you know, he's a good example. How many times has he gone down?
Right.
A lot. But how many times has he gotten right back up and dropped a hit? Like,
Thanks.
his whole album that he just released, Vultures, you know, his label wanted to take that down. He
Right.
unsigned from that label just to drop that album because he knew how much money was in that album. You know, he knew how much potential was in it, and he pushed harder. He did something creative. He got the new artists that are going insane in the underground or insane in mainstream. You know, there's artists out there that are tapped in with everybody.
Wow. I mean, that's a great example that you would say that, because I feel like everybody and anybody that in any walk of life, no matter what you do, you're going to have those peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have those ups and downs, and you're going to have those moments of adversity that really test your moxie. You know, and if you don't have the tenacity to push through those moments, that's really going to tell whether you're going to be successful or not, or whether you have what it takes to be in that industry, or whether if you have what it takes to be in the fashion industry, or if you're that's the difference between a good tattooist and a great tattooist. You know, I see a lot of artists that are good and that have great potential at tattooing, but they don't do enough due diligence to their craft. They don't sketch enough. They don't stencil enough. They don't practice enough, because they feel like, oh, I'm already at the epitome, and people say that I do great work, and that's where I'm at.
because you can always get better. You can always improve on
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
you're
You
doing.
should never accept mediocrity. And as far as I'm concerned, unless you are donned a goat, you always have another rung on the ladder to climb. You dig what I'm saying?
Because everything's changing. Nothing's I mean, we kind of learned that in cosmetology school, is you're not gonna graduate here and then be perfect at everything, because there's new trends, there's new makeup, hair, whatever. I
It's
mean,
forever
same
changing.
with music, same with tattoo, new
Yeah,
styles
everything is
of
always
stuff
changing.
comes out.
The inks, the product schemes of mixing and solutions. So, well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit in today and kind of let me interview you, and letting my listeners get to know you on a more personal level. Nico, is there any place that my listeners can follow you or catch you at, like, so
Yeah.
to speak?
I'm on Instagram. You can follow me on there. In my bio, there's always a link for my music. It's at XOXONIKO_.
Okay. And Savannah, we're going to create something just for you. So, listeners, viewers, stay tuned for that, because this young lady, I promise you, is going to be phenomenal. She has great vision. She has a great mentality, especially for her age. And I don't say that about a lot of 19-year-olds. So, well, I'm going to wrap this up today. Guys, again, thank you so much. Thank you to my Optic Audio team, Justin and his crew, for putting together another phenomenal show today. And until next week, I'm Kane Magruder. This is Uncut. Peace.
They be like, hello. And I'm like, get up off my phone. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you like an Xbox cause you get paid. I'm like a rich man cause I get paid. We caught the mission and come with it, man. Play with my stick and ain't talking arcade. Yeah, I let myself because I'm so made. I put the Gucci on top of the shades. I flew a model hoe out from LA. She one designer, I bought a case bag. Teachers say, bitch, you get fucked by the grade. Man, fuck this shit. I like my bitches, they look like Madonna. All of my shoes in the fuck. All of my shoes in my clothes, they designer. Blow up a phone while Nico inside. Leather on me, I feel like an outside. Kicking it back and they talking recliner. Yeah, you like an Xbox cause you get paid. I'm like a rich man cause I get paid. We caught the mission and come with it, man. Play with my stick and ain't talking arcade. Yeah, I let myself because I'm so made. I put the Gucci on top of the shades. I flew a model hoe out from LA. She one designer, I bought a case bag. Teacher said, bitch, you get fucked by the grade.
I just bought Deuce, fucking Celine on the shades. Jump in the movie, cast full of stars, just me and your babe. Bitch, I'm a star like a double R roof. Ain't even Johnny to hide in my proof. Been an equal self-made, got nothing to prove. Ooh, we been self-made. No, we are not the same. We all different ways. I got different cars and we switch different lanes.
Cause you get paid. I'm like a rich man cause I get paid. We caught the mission and come with it, man. Play with my stick and they talking arcade. Yeah, I let myself because I'm so made. I put the Gucci on top of the shades. I flew a model hoe out from LA. She one designer, I bought a case bag. Teacher said, bitch, you get fucked by the grade. I like my bitches, they look like Madonna. All of my shoes in it. All of my shoes in my clothes, they designer. Blow up a phone while Nico inside. Leather on me, I feel like an outside. Kicking it back and they talking recliner.